Testing 1 2 3 4.
Oh, Dave's class tonight versus the other one. He's classless.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks. Do I look older? I'm in my sixties.
Oh, by like 5 minutes, whatever.
Just a second.
We just had a spreadsheet,
I have to use for y'all.
Good meeting yesterday, Jim.
I'm tired now. It's been a lot.
A lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But we're alive.
Yeah.
No, he was the kids last night.
Good thing you and I next to each other.
You're trying to keep time.
Printed smell. Yep.
That's all right. Yeah, I think they learn not to put me next to Andy.
Andy just gets you in trouble.
Yeah. And not vice versa. Yeah, we'll see if I
Oh,
can
they
get
moved you
just.
back.
You never know.
I know.
Handouts.
I think I can do it.
It's okay.
Yep, I brought water. If anyone wants water and snacks, there's some right there for you. I'll even deliver them. What's like, what is that? What restaurant is that in Mount Missouri where they throw the rolls at you? I'll know it.
Got this, not a regular.
But there's a place in Missouri called House of the Thrown Rolls, where they have these like big yeast rolls and they'll just chuck them from all sides of the full contact there.
That was my house growing up.
It's a really good restaurant. I highly suggest you go there. If you're ever in Missouri. And they like all your fried okra and good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
First of all, thank you very much for being here. I'm Jeremy Wright, I'm the superintendent here, so I have this exciting time to kind of talk to you about what's going on in Delton and where we're going and what we're doing. And I know many of you have seen some of these presentations. This is the time we get to put it all together and answer questions for the community. We're having 2 of these meetings. They're going to be the same, regardless of whether you're at this one or the one in April. But it's just an exciting time for the school district here. So, first of all, how many of you guys have heard about Delton before? I know most of you. So, Delton is doing a $43 million bond. It's on the ballot for May 6th. And we're going to talk about like the process that we used to get there and how we got there and how we arrived at what we did, and then answer any questions that you obviously have. So we've kind of focused on 3 major areas when we discussed doing the bond: a safe and efficient school and safe and efficient infrastructure, building real-world skills, and then maximizing the space at the elementary and middle school. So the process included us all coming together as a group. We did a study on the middle school, the elementary. We found that the middle school was it had opening and a lot of open space, and the elementary school was kind of packed. So we were talking about like, what can we do to kind of make sure that the high school, the middle school, and the elementary school all have opportunities for everybody throughout the way. So we did that. So our agenda for tonight is we're going to talk about the planning process, the specific financial stuff, what goes into it and what we're doing, the projects we're going to do, and then voting information of how to vote and how to get out there and vote and do that. Any questions so far? All right, hopefully we'll get this. So back in July, my first day was July 1st. I think by July 15th or July 16th, we started with the facilities assessment. We brought everybody in and we looked around the facilities and we were talking about different things. Actually, the facilities assessment happened with the previous bond. So there was a number of things that didn't get touched, and so we had that outstanding. So we started with that. Then we brought in the staff over the summer. I think that was July 15th. And we sat down in this room and we talked about all the different things that needed to be done here as far as the bond, as far as different projects that we need to be competitive with the other districts around here. At about the same time, we were putting out a community survey. I don't know, I'm sure you might have seen it around, but it was questions like, what's the state of the district? And we'll talk about those results, but those results really fed into what we're doing today. Then we had a community forum in early, probably October, and then another one in November. And then we put together from those community forums a steering committee. And the steering committee looked at all of the different data that we had backwards, and we came up with a plan of what's best to spend the money, what will get the biggest bang for the dollar, and what will be the best direction for our district. And finally, what was it? I want to say early January, first January board meeting, the board voted and put together the ballot language. So from July to January, this has pretty much been my job. In addition to having kids and running around and dealing with all kinds of other fun stuff. So that's been kind of the process as far as the bond. We meet regularly as a team. We have a bond committee with the board that meets, and we talk specific strategies on what we're going to do and how we're going to do that stuff as well. So what did we find in the community survey? It was clear that Dalton is highly prideful of their area, of the school, of the district, everybody loves the community feel and the community spirit. We kind of saw that when we went to the trunk or treat that we had it was outpouring of support. I don't know how many of you were there, but it was probably the best night in fall. It was a little hot though, but it was a perfect day. We heard a ton of, we need more opportunities for kids for career and technical education. As you know, Dalton had some retirements. We haven't been able to fill the position for like the building trades class and some other classes, so that was a big push with that. A lot of it was about facility improvements. If you go to the middle school and the older part of the elementary school, it's older. It looks old, it looks tired, it looks worn, so a big talk was pushing the facility improvements. And then people wanted stronger communication, as well as let's retain and attract teachers, let's reduce bullying, let's improve programming, and enhance our facilities, all in the same process. We have a lot to be proud of here, and there's a lot of positive things here, and I think this will just take us to the next level along the way. And then we had the meeting with the staff input. We talked about specific things that would make their lives easier. What makes our job easier? What makes our place better to be? Big thing was elementary cafeteria. It's too small for what we have going. We can't feed everybody. The room's small. Everything's tiny. It's an old gym. What do we do with it? So we talked a lot about that. We talked about classroom renovations. Our classrooms aren't up to standards of districts around here. Quite frankly, we're adding technology at the middle school. So what are some things that we can do to build our classrooms to make them look nicer, have a good curb appeal, so to speak, and all of that. Middle school, talked a lot about the HVAC issues, a lot about how it's old and outdated. Are you guys middle schoolers? Have you guys been in the locker rooms? those need help, right? So all of those little things, they smell? that sells it right there, right? So, but when in the middle school, it is old and it works, it's fine, and it looks good, but it needs some help. So that, and then a lot of the discussion about CTE space and equipment. The equipment that we have is probably from the late 60s, early 70s. Is that about fair, Junior? Junior was just helped take everything out of there, or is in the process of it. So it's older equipment. Again, still works, still nice, most of it. But it's time that we start providing our kids with what's coming next. Obviously, that's the old trades are turning place. They're now robotics and different things. So we work together to get a grant to do some different things where we're going to be really revolutionizing what we're doing at the high school trades. And finally, the last thing was, if you were at football season, do you play football? Just football or band? If the one big thing at football season was everybody was up in arms that they had to walk across to the other side, and the visitors got the new big bleachers, and it was kind of a mess. So what we're doing with that is we'll be doing some things to specifically address those concerns. We did some activities like Ideas That Stick. You could see the staff there hanging out and discussing, and that was all during the summer, I think, or early fall. So now the financials, and this is the neat piece and the neat part. With the financials, as we go in, Delton Kellogg still has the lowest tax rates, and I can tell you, looking at this, we have the lowest tax rates around. With our ISD taxes, they're a third of what other school districts are. Like Allegan, if you're paying $333 here, you're paying $800 at Allegan, $1,100 in Kent County, I want to say $900 or $1,000 in Calhoun County. So just move those counties and move those ISDs. We have a pretty good deal with taxes here. And as you can see, the gray represents districts with sinking funds. So like our partner to the north of here has a $2 million sinking fund that they get every year to help run with doing the bigger projects. A sinking fund is kind of like a savings account for keeping upkeep. It's upkeep on the building and upkeep on maintenance. But what happens with that, you have a sinking fund, you don't have to spend that money out of your general fund, which is what we do. So the community in the state of Michigan, it's not like this everywhere. I think Michigan's what, one of 5 states, is that correct? One of 5 states that relies on the community to vote for building improvements. Like, I came from Florida. Florida had a capital outlay fund where the state of Florida sent us $13–20 million every year, and it was to build a new high school or build a new middle school or add on to it, depending on where your enrollment went. And as you can imagine, Florida grew all the time. So if you go and look at all the schools, they're all big and brand new and have big chunks. But that's because the state paid for it with the construction fund that they did. We weren't relying on that. Questions? And this is why it's a good opportunity to go for a bond now. So people always ask and people wonder, we're currently at 4.9 mils, which 1 mil is 1,000, so it's 1,000. If you're at a $100,000 home, 1 mil would equal $1,000 basically of it. So it goes by help me with this. It goes by your assessed value, and then that's how they determine the amount of the tax that goes out there. So right now, within the next 2 to 3 years, our millage rate could drop in 2026. But as we go on, if we keep it the same right now, we can do that and get a better, get the money to do these improvements and keep our taxes at a reasonable level in comparison to other districts. So now for the fun part. Here's all the bells and whistles that we're looking at. So, bond proposal overview, safe and efficient infrastructure, building for real world skills, maximizing space, and other stuff. So what does it look like? Access controls and security cameras. Isn't that awesome, guys? Yeah, that's cool. And new fire alarms and PA systems. And then LED lighting, HVAC, and building management systems. So all of this will allow us to save money, especially down here. We did some studies on it. If we convert our entire district to LED lighting, they're saying it'll save us between $30,000 and $50,000 a year in electrical bills. Here's a quick fact. Let's see if the middle schoolers know. How many lights do we have on campus?
They're both in high school.
Oh, you guys are in high school. Middle schooler.
Oh, there's one, okay.
There is a middle school. A lot. That's the right answer. 3,300 lights.
Closer than I am.
So at the high school, here's kind of what we're looking at doing. As you all know, we have a new ag science program, and we're so excited to have that. And I believe it's really a staple of this community. If you look, you have it downstairs in the gym, they say that sign. If you look everywhere, it's what we want to build around. So the agri-science barn, we're going to have a barn and a new greenhouse and an outdoor learning center. The outdoor learning center is going to focus on the lake. So we're working on putting together an area for learning on the lake. We're in the process of deciding and trying to get a permit for a dock, which has been like an act of Congress, I have to tell you. We're halfway through and I think everybody's kind of almost giving up, but we're not going to give up. But Eagle needs to make our lives easier and figure out how to do it or do something different. Upgrading wood and manufacturing metal labs. We have a bunch of new equipment that is coming in from the grant. So we want to make that space really a part of our community is going. There's manufacturing all up and down here. Everywhere's around here, and it's all robotic type manufacturing, and they're jobs that are high paying, and we need to start preparing our kids for the jobs and for the next set of jobs that aren't even out there yet. So this stuff will get kids interested into the manufacturing part and give them a leg up on others. Home ec, culinary, and life skills room. So it'll have different stations for home ec stuff, and it will also provide a cooking area. I think the current room has a bathroom and a bathtub and all of that good stuff. So all of that will be included in this area. So, and then the greenhouse, which will be an awesome part for the FFA program. So all of this will be built for the real world skills. And that's our current shop if you look at it, right? Or the current wood shop right now as you see it. So maximizing space at the elementary and middle schools. So before you say, oh no, this is horrible sending our little fourth graders over to the middle school, there's a reason for it. By moving fourth grader over, it'll allow us to create a separate wing for the fourth and fifth graders to do like a lower L wing. That will allow collaboration between the fourth and fifth grade, which doesn't happen right now. It will be isolated from the 6th, 7th, and 8th building, and it'll be the one closest to the playgrounds over there. So they'll still have access with the same general amount of distance to it. Inside of the classrooms will all be updated. If you look at some of the old rooms right now, they're old and worn and tired and dated. So all of this will be refurbished. There'll be new floors, new lights put in, new at the middle school especially, and then the main room, now the main hall where the fourth graders are, the third grade will move up to the upstairs, which will open up this whole hallway for the preschool. And so we will be one of the few districts in the area that can offer now birth to 3, and really birth to 12th grade. So we'll be able to offer the parent child care, which is the goal to build the, you know, the enrollment up here as a district. So by doing that, we're now gonna get, hopefully, people to come into the community, see what we have to offer, fall in love with it. Like, I didn't know all this stuff before I came here, fall in love with it and then stay here. And that's the ultimate goal, is to get the enrollment up, to get kids to come here and to get them to learn and get them to learn like real world and important skills that will get them to be successful. So that's kind of the vision with that. And then the other stuff. So the press box, if you've been on the home side, the away side, whatever side you want to call it, the old side it's old and it's rickety. So that will get new ADA compliant seating and everything. And then we'll move the press box over to the new side, which is the away side, but looks like the home side, but now it'll become the home side. Follow me? We'll also have bus replacements, high school restroom, and kitchen upgrades at all 3 buildings. So part of it, the elementary will get a brand new kitchen as part of it that goes off where the library is, currently off in that area. And then continuing the roofing, finishing off the roofing job, we had a little chunk to do, and then paving improvements. And that's kind of everything that is going on there. So now, last but not least, the last day to register to vote is April 21st. May 6th is the actual vote day. Absentee voting can start taking place as early as, 2 weeks from today almost. Oh my gosh. Time is flying. It's hard to believe that it's already March. And then we'll go until May 6th, talk to the local clerks in the area. If you have any questions, they'll be able to help you out. And then we have our next forum at the middle school at 6:30 to kind of, and we'll do a little tour of the middle school as well, so you can see what that looks like. Any questions?
Much property do you own where the drive comes into the high school, by the bleachers there? How much property do they own to the west?
I don't think very much, because I think that was looked at to make that, to keep that the home side, and it would have to go into someone else's property is what.
Right, did anybody thought maybe to talk to them, see if they'd sell a part of an acre, bump that drive out?
To make the other side.
Well, to give you appropriate bleacher space
For
for the home team.
But the concession stand and everything will be on the other side.
Yeah, I know, but are we gonna, the old side is gonna be the home side for a while, correct?
No,
No.
We're gonna move back the other side.
we move back
Yeah,
to the
this
other
was
side.
only 1 year they
And upset
switched.
the coach.
Yep.
The coach
They've
was
already
fine
know
with it.
they're
He
on
said he'll take it as long as he doesn't
Yeah.
have to deal with the chains.
Chain.
He said dealing with the chains
Yeah.
and the sun, too much.
Really?
Yeah.
I talked to him about it.
Yeah, it was only 1 year that it switched over.
The only problem that I can see, and we'll have to talk about this, and I don't know what it would be, is I heard the starting point for the track is on that side though, which makes sense, so.
Right, and it is. But if we had 50 feet or so, if you move that drive out 50 feet,
To give you enough room, just to put a big enough bleacher sign in.
yeah, take the drive and just go.
I think it's gonna take
I
more
think it's
planning
sold out
than that.
anyways.
Cause there's no restrooms, it's gonna take more planning, cause there's, that, you'd have to have the
I'm
problem.
just talking. I'm just talking. I love to talk.
We know that, Judy.
No, I don't.
He likes to think about things and not do that.
We can certainly look at the property line when we get to that point.
Pretty close.
When-
Yeah.
when-
I know, I've heard it was pretty close, cause I think they looked at expanding it the last time, and that was the problem. That's why they made the bigger side on the other side.
And put the entrance that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wetlands on that side, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Up along that driveway,
It's trees,
it's trees and then
trees if I recall.
like 10 acre farm in front.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to ask them if they'd be willing to sell an acre or 2 acres.
Yeah.
I don't work, we could put the drive to the high school in a different way, then you got that much.
Right through
distance.
the football field, we could.
Well, I don't know if I go through it, but maybe through the concession stand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll make people happy.
be the green room.
No, it's the academy.
Yeah, so part, and I didn't get to, I don't know, was that not on there? Did it get?
The layout.
So, is the layout on there? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a map. So part of it, part of the thought, so to answer your question, that's on my radar.
Okay, good.
I've had many people talk about the band room, and I'm actually meeting with, Miss Knight, I think, tomorrow, after school. We have a half day, right? Yes, so tomorrow after school.
No, Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, tomorrow's not Thursday.
Tomorrow's not Thursday.
Oh, geez, Thursday after school, I'm
Got
meeting
these
with
kids all excited.
Sorry, guys, you get another 2 days for a half day, but, I'm meeting with her on Thursday to talk specifically about band and what band needs are and everything like, and all of that stuff. So, I know that part of the bond project at the middle school and the high school is going to address inside of rooms and cabinetry and areas, so it will be spruce and done. And is that fair to say with the construction guys back there?
Yeah, the middle school for sure, because that entire building's gonna get, pretty significant refresh. And I think the high school, sort of thinking about those spaces and how you're using them now versus some of the, even with, where the home ec lab is gonna be and the culinary arts and things like that. Those are definitely on our radar, so we'll have more conversations.
Yeah, the home ec lab is the current DK Academy, and we're gonna move that to the green room, which,
So,
Oh, okay.
and then what are we gonna do? We just need to keep a green room on the radar, cause there
Correct.
is one that,
Yeah, I came from, Otsego, graduated 20 plus years ago, and even thinking about the band room when I was in school, and comparing that to the current band room here, I'm like, for the quality of the band that we have, it really just does not meet the same,
standard.
yeah, so it's good to hear. If the bond does get passed, how quickly will things start
So
changing?
it's done in 3 phases. If it gets passed in May, everything should be done by June of that same year. No,
And if it's not, just call.
no, I think it would start, this planning would start in June. I think our plan was to have the football, the greenhouse, and the barn done by the following school year, correct? Am I wrong on that? Cause those 3 would be those 3 are put together already. They're gonna be, and the press box would be able to be over there. So we're allowed $5 million roughly on the first round. Then the second round we'll do the middle school, because the middle school has to be done. So the middle school has to be done before the elementary kids can move. So then the middle school would be basically 2 years. It'll be a process. So 2 years out and then 2 more years plus there. So you're looking at 5 to 7 years from start to the end of everything. The elementary being the last part of the whole
if you ever
thing.
see Todd around, just tell him to hurry up.
Yeah. Yeah, we have boots on the ground 2026, and then we'll be on campus from then until 2030.
Okay.
So about 5 years.
Just in time to start something new all over again, right?
Yeah.
This-
The beauty of this is we're touching everything, and it's significant. It's not just addressing one room here and there. It's real change, and I'm excited for my girls to experience it.
You gonna be the project lead if it passes?
I will.
Is that a good thing or not?
I can talk to
I have a question. So the last bond, when did the boots hit the ground compared to this past summer or fall? I guess we're still finishing it up.
Yeah, so the last bond was a 3 series bond as well. I was not associated with series 1. You got passed in 2018. So, and it was pretty spaced out when the sale of the bond occurred. So I think
summer, most of the projects that are bidding for, like this summer, bid as early as like last November, right? And so when we pass a bond in May, we immediately go into planning mode and try to figure out, okay, how do we get to a point where we can bid projects out for the summer and, spring, right? I mean, sometimes we'll start early, like spring break, depending on the nature of the project and how disruptive it is, but that's a fairly typical planning cycle.
So if it passes, am I hearing that we would have the new bleachers in before football season of '26? Or are we
That's
talking about
yours.
the following year? 'Cause it sounded like that.
26.
26 would be the,
That's the following year.
No,
This year.
not 25.
not 25, not this
Okay,
year.
that's pretty fast though.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry if I made it sound like it would be like
No.
3 months
No.
from now.
No.
That would be fast, but
Yeah, no. but
June.
I think I made my bad joke about 1 month and then it got,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
Some rumors get started. Jeremy said.
Jeremy said, and now it's being videotaped, so now it's on. it's
Yeah,
live.
oh, that's right, yeah. Junior said we're buying land.
I heard Junior offered to buy the land.
Right, I think that's what I heard too.
What about that?
The land.
That's what it cost.
All right, any other questions? Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming out, and if you have any questions, I'm always available and always willing to chat out things and figure it out, so. I appreciate your time, and please feel free to stick around for 6:30 or 7 o'clock board meeting. We're picking a new board person and going on that
That's at the end.
at the end of the meeting, yep. And I'll shut us down so we can talk.